Alright guys, so this is my 2018 bullet journal, and this one is definitely more themed. So 2017 was kind of taking what I had found on Pinterest and reusing it, but this one was more like, I'm going to do my own stuff. So the first page is the opening page, and it says, "Get it, girl, and stay humble," and then we need the courage to start and continue what we should do, but also the courage to stop what we shouldn't do. And then there's a little letter to 2018, and it says, "2018, I'm coming to slay." And honestly, I pretty much did slay in 2018, y'all. Like, I got a lot of stuff done. And here's the first page. Good vibes. And it's all shiny and gold. And then this is from the Dark Tower. There's a Dark Tower themed bullet journal in this one. Full of faith. And then these are my goals. More sleep, more music, more tea, more art, laughter, hugs, dreaming, fun, and love. So the next thing is a memory page. And these were actually these were stickers from a book that we had, and they were just extras. So this was me when people started eating Tide Pods. This was the snowpocalypse because we never get snow in Charlotte. And then this is me when it actually snowed because I really didn't think it was going to snow. This was me trying to drive in the snow. This is me getting ready for next month. Lucky Penny that we found on a walk. Me and Haley. This was BB-8. That was Oprah's speech. I don't know if you remember that speech, but that was Oprah's speech. And then me playing 7 Days to Die. And me when the kids went to school for one day this whole week because of the snow. And then snow cream. We made snow cream. So that's just my memory page. And then this was a origami crane that Kylie made me with 1,000 wishes. And then hello 2018. Something inside me has always been there, but now it's awake. Ray. That's a quote from the... All right, up until this point, I've pretty much been copying people online and doing what everyone else has done. This is the first one where I did my own thing. And my theme was The Dark Tower by Stephen King. I love Stephen King. I love The Dark Tower. Roland and Oi and Jake and Susanna, they will always have a place in my heart. So that's what I wanted to do. So long days and pleasant nights, may you have twice the number. That's a quote from the book. And then this is my monthly focus. And then here's my habit tracker that I barely used at all. And then here's the weekly plan. And I still use this layout a lot today. This is new music that I needed to download into my phone. I got a new phone for Christmas because my old one broke. And that's all music I definitely wanted to make sure I downloaded. Here's me dealing with a doctor's office. And this is when I learned about level of care. And this is the gunslinger mantra. I do not aim with my hand, for he who aims with his hand has forgotten the face of his father. Alright, so we got Shark Week. We all know what that means. And then we go to TV shows. Good Girls Revolt, This Is Us, LA to Vegas, Vanderpump, Orville, The Good Doctor, Kevin Probably Saves the World. I wish that show was on longer. 911, Stripped Relationship, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, because I had to rewatch it. Stranger Things. Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Amazing Race, Unsolved Mysteries, like Robert Stack Unsolved Mysteries, like season 1 of Unsolved Mysteries, The Good Place, How to Get Away with Murder, Grey's Anatomy, Burning Love. Burning Love is like an old spoofy reality dating show. Kind of makes fun of Rock of Love and Flavor of Love and all of those. It's really, really funny. And then Stranger Things. And those are the TV shows that I watched. And then these are all the movies that we watched. And these are all the reviews of the movies that we watched. All right, so here's my weekly. We went to Tijuana Flats, and I got a gift card, because I told you I do that a lot. Picture, All Hail the Crimson King. Dr. Shit. Like, so much Dr. Shit, y'all. It ain't even funny. This is what I talk about. No one asked for any of these tests. This is me asking for a level dispute the level of care. See? That's where I get that from. Go then, there are other worlds than these. And this is a journal entry. And then this is 7 Days to Die stuff. These are all of the achievements, which I have all of them except for the ones where you have to kill people because I don't do that. And then this is, I made it to day 300 and I had 894 zombie kills. Weight tracker. Measurement tracker. Alright, so here's a measurement weight tracker. Started, didn't finish it. This is this is walk every day. And then this is couch to 5K. This is how to go from the couch to 5K. Didn't do that. And this was because we knew we were going to Disney. And there is a lot of walking around Disney, y'all. I walk 10 miles a day every single day, minimum. So I was very glad when I had even just a little bit of this prep before I went. Total miles that I ran. Death, but not for you, gunslinger. Never for you. It's from the first book. She only sleeps when it's raining. Got this, weight loss. My step tracker. Didn't keep track of it. And then this is just this week. Alright, so this is the week that it actually snowed in Charlotte, and it's been a while. And this was the first time it had snowed at the island of Bald Head since 1919. This is just a pretty picture that I took. That's a picture of me and Haley. And then this is my husband playing a snowball fight with the kids. And then this is our snowman. I think his name was T-Rock Thornton. Yeah, T-Rock Thornton. And then that's the snowman Kylie Ann made. And then this is just Charlotte. Got 3 to 4 inches of snow. So, that was an interesting week. Just be yourself. Let people see the real, quirky, flawed, weird, beautiful, magical person that you are. Tracy Bowens. And then this was from our church. And then this is just a prayer journal. Like, things that I need to pray for and actual prayer. And then this is 7 Days to Die recipes from my video game again. Alright, here's my daily cleaning. I always do my kitchen on Mondays. Then I do the floors. Then I do the bedrooms on Wednesdays. Bathrooms on Thursdays. Laundry and living rooms on Friday. I am not an early bird or night owl. I am instead some sort of a permanently exhausted pigeon. And then this is from Haley's hair when Haley got her hair cut. And then here's my this week. And this is just some art that I did to start us into the next month. And then this is the next month. Always be a little kinder than is necessary. Wake up early, drink coffee, work hard, be ambitious, keep your priorities straight, your mind right, and your head up. Do well, live well, dress really well, do what you love what you do, and it's time to start living. So there you go. February. And there's my... Alright, so now we get to February, and I kind of phoned it in on February because I had done so much work in January. Here's my monthly focus. And then here's February, and it's just a bunch of stickers, y'all. That's from the Dark Tower. That's Cotette. This week, those are my goals. These are my morning routine. This was a different weekly layout. I was trying to see if I liked it. Happiness is homemade. And then these are some of my recipes that I use, like, a lot. Like, a lot. And these are all just chicken and pork chops. You can do the recipes with either chicken or pork chops. Here's chicken and steak fajitas. The Dixie Pig is a restaurant from the Tower. And then pork. Here's all the recipes you can do with pork. There's a whole ham, pulled pork. And then there's all the stuff you can do with chicken. Alright, so when you get done with the recipes, then you come to this. This is where I keep my coupons. I usually put an envelope, and then I just keep my coupons inside of there. And on the other side of this envelope is a sample meal plan with my shopping list. And then this was the stuff I was getting at Harris Teeter. This was the stuff I was going to get at Lidl. And that's Oi from the Tower. And then this is a recipe for Popkins. If you know the Dark Tower, then you know Popkins. And then this is my grocery list. In order to make all of the meals in here, I have to have these items. And that's my grocery list. And I'm just going to flip back through the recipes just in case you didn't get to see them. Just in case I went by too fast. If there's something in here you really want, I'll give you a second chance. At least until I run out of time. Alright, so this is 7 Days to Die. And in the game, you build up your levels, and I wanted to have 100 in everything. So I wrote down everything, and I have 100 in everything now. But I wanted to keep really, really good track of everything. And then here's a list of all the Horde nights, because I would always forget. And then here's a list of every single one of the locations in the burnt forest, in the desert, in the forest. Here's the plains, here's the pine forest, and the snowy biome is right there. And this is actually a map that I made. I started out with this little map right here, which is so tiny you can't see anything. So I enlarged it, and then I cut all of the different pieces out and glued them together. So I have an actual entire map of Navezgane. And then this is where all the traders are located. So, you know, like, I take the game. All right, the next thing is habit trackers. Activia, no soda, detox bath, workout, self-care, walk for 30 minutes, stay hydrated, do water and lemon in the morning, and smoothie or juice at least once a day. I did okay on that. These are movies that I wanted to watch that I hadn't seen in a while or that I wanted to share with the kids. And then these were just some movies that we watched. Here's some self-care recipes, but I didn't fill any of, I just did the one. And then the next thing is, this is actually my mom. My mom wrote this. This is from Oprah Winfrey from 1997, and it's just notes on how to deal with trauma. And then let the past die, kill it if you have to. Love that quote. North Central Positronics here. And then this is a journal, I think. The Way Damaged People Love. Very. Alright guys, so this is a journal entry, and I'm going to share it with you. Mother, mother, mother of mine, your daughter is calling across time. You failed me at every turn, but to forgive I must learn. Free, free, set me free. What's come has come, what's done is done. The past is behind me, the future ahead of me. The present is so, so much I can't keep carrying my pain for you. I am needed elsewhere. So I will ask Andy the robot to take my baggage with him to the wastes and let it go. Andy the robot is from the Dark Tower, and the wastes is where it's the wasteland. And then all of this stuff is Disney. I have a whole book for it, though. I ran out of space for my Disney, so I made a whole book for it. And then here's Currently I'm. These are all the things that I was currently doing. And then here's a picture from The Little Prince that I drew. And then here's my mixtape of Old Time Radio, audio. Alright, so those were all the things that I was reading and doing that month. There's a picture of The Little Prince, and here's my mixtape, all of the podcast audiobooks, things like that I was listening to. And then this is a Valentine's card from Hannah, and it says, no matter where you are or what you are, I'll always love you, Mom. From octopi to pandas, you're always Mom in my heart. And then egg drop soup to the rescue, because I was really sick. And so I saved that from the Chinese restaurant. This is one of those memory pages. And then these are just a bunch of stickers. And then there's my This Week. And then my This Week. And more TV shows. Baskets, The Resident, The Bachelor, Big Brother, Here and Now, Divorce, and Westworld. And then that's when I went to school. And then here's some art. March. Alright, so here's a Zentangle that I did, and it says, what's broken can be mended, what's hurt can be healed, no matter how dark it gets, the sun's gonna rise again. And that's actually from Meredith Grey, which is from Grey's Anatomy. Behind the clouds, the sun is still shining. Just some fancy gold stuff, bunch of stuff about doctors. This one is Ready Player One themed, because I listened to Ready Player One. I literally am not exaggerating when I tell you I listened to that book 20 times. I love Will Wheaton, and he reads it. And so it's got Wade, Artemis, Holiday. It's got Parzival, Anorak's Almanac, Sixers, Gunters, and then the hidden keys open the secret gates, wherein the errant will be tested for worthy traits, and those with the skill to survive the straits will reach the end with a prize. All right. The next page starts with Inspire, Dream, Believe, and then this is my monthly focus. all the things I really wanted to work on. And this was Call a Dr. Bill, Call a Dr. Bill, Call about a Dr. Bill, Call about a Dr. Record, Call about a date of service, medical records. There's still a lot of that going on. And this month was Ready Player One themed because I love Ready Player One. It's one of my favorite books, and I must have listened to it 20 times in a row. And then here is my Shark Week, but this is a monthly version. So there's 31 days, and these are the months that don't have 30 or 31 days, and then you just keep track and you do that on the day. But this just doesn't work. I need a monthly one, not a yearly one. And then these were the TV shows we were watching at the time. Everything Sucks, 7 Seconds, Bachelor Winter, Mr. Mercedes, Rise, and Survivor.